Okay, this is a historical moment. This is hands across the ocean, Blue Apple and barrier free. So welcome barrier free to what is quite a rainy UK where I am. It's early evening here. And what I'm going to do, so you know me, I'm Richard. I think we've all got our right names in front of us. What I'll ask is just our guys very quickly to introduce themselves, very quickly, guys. Then I'll ask you, barrier free, to introduce yourselves. A little bit of a warm up, and then we'll do some hits from the shows. And by hits, I don't mean songs, I mean speeches.
This is thought.
Yes, no one's going to sing a song. And then we're going to hand over to you and find out more about you. And the only thing we need to get out of this is to have had a really nice time together, and for you to learn a bit more about us and for us to learn a bit more about you. Because I think in this very strange times when we're all kind of, you know, I feel like I haven't left my house for ages, it's been easier to reach out further, which is a very strange thing. So this is a great time to build a kind of community of companies like our own. Okay, Tommy, I'm going to ask you to just say a quick hello, tell people about yourself in a very short amount of time.
Yeah. Well, hello there. I'm Tommy Jessup, and I am the longest serving and the founder of the Blue Apple Theatre.
How many years with the company?
About 15 years.
15 years, just gone. June the 4th of July, Independence Day.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
Anna, quick introduction from you.
Hi, my name's Anna, and I've also been in the Blue Apple Company for 15 years.
You were there right from the start, weren't you? Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie.
Hi, Katie.
Hi. I've been at Blue Apple for about 15 years.
Fantastic. Sam, unmute.
Hello, I'm Sam Dace, and I'm one of the newer members of Blue Apple. I started Blue Apple in 2018, so 2 years ago.
Fantastic. But very quickly joined the core group who you're seeing here. Ros Davis, tell us about you.
Hi, I'm Rose Davies. I've been at Blue Apple for 15 years myself. So, yeah, it's very good company.
It is a very good company. James, you're next on my list. You might not be on your list.
Okay. My name is James Benfield, and I have been with Blue Apple since 2007, but in forming with Blue Apple properly till 2009.
Okay, I don't know for everybody, but your audio dropped out a little bit for me there. If people look at you confused, that's why. Laurie.
Well, my name is Laurie Morris. I've been in the Blue Apple since 9 years. And I've also grew up with William Shakespeare for a very long time.
That's enough. Brilliant. You'll be hearing some Shakespeare later. Our guys love the Shakespeare. Lauren and Britt, I'm going to hand over to you to ask your guys to introduce, and then we'll start.
Yeah, well, I'll start. My name is Britt. I am the creative director and founder of Barrier Free. Barrier Free has been established officially for about a year, but we started our programming about 5 to 6 years prior to that. So, was it 7 years?
2013.
13, yeah, well, I guess that is 7 years.
And then we are out on our own in 2019. And I am Lauren. I am the executive director of Barrier Free. How about Jenny? Will you go next?
Yes, my name is Jenny. I Barrier Free and 4 years.
Great. Nicole, how about you?
Hi, my name is Nicole, and I started acting the year 2012.
Great.
And my first play, it was the high school prom.
Nice. Chris, how about you?
Oh yeah, my name is Christopher Anderson, and I've been barrier-free feeder since 8 years of 2012, and my first play was The Prom Flight.
Great.
And I was a secret agent.
I stand corrected. 2012 was our first year. We can't even keep it short. We've worked in so many different avenues and areas throughout the years.
They've got it right.
Yeah. Jen.
God.
Hi, I've been a lot of things for Barrier Free, but I was one of the first interns when I was in college, so I joined probably 2013 or 2014. I've been lots of things, but this year I am the assistant director for one of our companies, and I'm a sitting board member. Very nice.
Wow.
And Jared.
Hi, I'm Jared Parrish. I've begun my year in Barrier Free last year in fall of 2019.
Excellent. And we may
Thanks.
have one other joining us towards the end. He had a family matter, but his name is Mike Eaton, and he is our first ever barrier-free participant. So
Okay.
we have given him the hall pass to jump in later.
To jump in whenever. Okay, shall we do a very warm up ourselves? So we at Blue Apple, for years, I've been trying to get our guys to act big, to project, to do great gestures so that the audience can see them when they're sitting in the back row. We don't need to do that quite so much because we are operating in these small boxes now. But one of the things that we are trying to really pay attention to is breath, is clarity of voice to make sure that everyone can understand every word. And then just focus as well, real concentration. Not everybody in our company is as concentrated as the guys you're seeing in front. Even though I saw Mr. Benfield, you wandering off a minute ago. Where did you go?
Things.
These people have come all the way from America. So we're going to get ourselves focused and centered. Is everybody sitting comfortably? I won't do moving around. Are we sitting comfortably?
Yep.
Yes.
Hey, does it sound to you guys stateside as if we're putting on British accents?
I mean, you have them.
Maybe not putting on, they sound rather authentic.
I love it. Yeah, do we sound like the criminals in a Bond movie? I expect you to die. Okay, so we're going to sit nice and upright. Okay, let's try and make sure everybody, this applies to you, Tommy, Katie, you can away from the screen a little bit. Let's get ourselves sat nicely in the center of the screen if we can. Lovely. Everybody at Barrier Free looks beautiful. And Laura, you're sharing the screen very nicely. One of you might shove the other one out. So let's just try and do what we in Blue Apple we talk about a neutral position quite often. So a position where you're not trying to project a character or a mood. So it's nice and plain, I guess. If we were standing up, I'd say, you know, feet hip width apart, head relaxed, facing forwards, and arms just hanging by your side. So what we're going to do is just roll our shoulders back. Oh, minor click.
That's nice.
Nice and slowly, Tommy. It's not a workout.
That's true.
I'll tell you, Tommy, everything is a workout.
That's actually good. I'm working out.
Forwards. Good. And we're going to try and focus and center ourselves and just hold our breath. So this is a little bit kind of Tai Chi. So what we do is reach forward towards the camera and breathe in as we're kind of bringing our hands towards in through the nose and out through the mouth. Lovely. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. We're going to breathe in through the nose one more time. We're going to pause and hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, and let the sound come out this time on an R. This time we're going to breathe in one more time. Hold 1, 2. And this time E sound. E. Good, good, good. Last time we're going to breathe in.
What?
In through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is an ooh sound. So every time we have to change the way our mouth structure is being applied to make the sounds right. So we're going ee, ooh, ah. And let's get our faces warmed up a bit. Be careful if you wear spectacles.
God.
What you do is put your hands in front of you, like this, and then jazz hands, and then I'm going to ask you to do a little bit of gentle percussion. Go ahead.
Jared, Nicole.
Oh, yeah, Jared's got the hat on. That doesn't help.
Wait.
Onto your chin, bridge of your nose, and then we're going to treat. Has anyone ever baked bread?
Bread?
What you do to make bread? You need.
Yes.
Need. Good. And let's finally wake the faces up, because I know it's you guys with a little gentle slap. Good. Okay. So, nice. We're going to give you some of our hits. So you heard a little earlier that Blue Apple's been going for 50 years. One of the things I think that marks us out in the UK, a lot of companies like us will devise work or improvise work, but lots of fellow companies don't work from scripts. And if they do work from scripts, they kind of shy away from classics. So, but we dive right in. We're like firefighters. We go towards the fire. Shakespeare, Dickens has been there. You'll hear some of that during the course of today. Happy to do some speeches, guys. Mr. Benfield, what was that?
Yes, I got that.
Jane Austen as well.
Jane Austen, we've even done a bit of Jane Austen. Okay, so what we'll do, I'll highlight people as we go through. Tommy, are you ready with a speech that people may know? It's got the words to be or not to be. It's quite a big hitter. So
Brilliant.
You're happy to. Let me see Tommy a little bigger. Does that work for everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, take it away, Tommy.
To be to be. That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing and then I pray you all that whatsoever else shall happen tonight, you look through our sad performance and see that we form forms of nature are wondrous too. What a piece of work is a man, and woman, how noble in form, how infinite in form, how noble in reason, the beauty of the world. We are all the same, says Hamlet, the Dame. The rest is silence.
I'm going to move straight on to Anna. Hopefully, some people would have recognised that from it's a speech by Hamlet from the play. Hamlet, it's one of the most famous in the English language. Shush, Tommy, not your turn now. In our turn, in our performance, so this was toured, wasn't it, about 5 years ago? Anna Trude, who is Hamlet's mother, and this is her speech when she's got to tell a character called Laertes about the death of his sister.
Okay. Yeah. One road off, tread upon another's hill, so fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes. There is a willow that grows askant a brook. There on the pendant bows her cornet weeds, clambering to hang, an envious sliver broke. When down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook, her clothes spread wide, a mermaid like a whale they bore her up, but long it could not be, for that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulls the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death, drowned, drowned.
Good job.
Thank you, Anna. That was lovely. I'm going to move on to Rose. I can't see Rose. Yes, I can. Okay, I'm putting Rose in the spotlight. Rose is going to do a speech from a character called Beatrice, who is in Much Ado About Nothing. Do you want to say anything about the speech, Rose?
Oh, okay.
It's a play I don't know well. I didn't direct this one.
Yeah. I think.
Oh, I put you on the spot. Don't worry. You just do this.
That's all right. It's fine. I think it's to do with when Beatrice is hiding, and
Okay.
they're actually talking about her.
Fantastic.
Okay. What fire is in mine ears? Can this be true? That I condemned in pride and scorn so much contempt, farewell, and made in pride a Jew. But Benedict, love on, I will requite thee.
Lovely. Where is James Benfield? James, are you happy to do your aerial?
Yes.
So what I'll do is I'll give you the spotlight and I'll explain that last summer we did the Tempest, the character of Ariel, and Caliban in it. So we'll hear from Laurie in a moment doing his Caliban speech. This all seems a little to do with death and gloomy love, but it'll brighten up in a minute. So James Benfield, take it away with Ariel. So this is when Ariel is being terribly scary to some of the people on the island, isn't it, of the Tempest?
Yes.
He appears as a harpy.
You are creatures and beasts, so full of sin, whom destiny and the sea hath caused to belch you up on this island, where man doth not inhabit. You fools, I and my fellows, ministers of fate, the elements of whom your swords are tempered, may as well wound the loud winds, or kill the still closing waters, as diminish my plume. My fellow ministers are like invulnerable. If you could hurt, your swords are now too heavy for your strength and will not be uplifted. But remember that you did supplant good Prospero, exposed unto the sea, him and his innocent child, for which foul deed have incensed the seas and shores, all the creatures against your peace. Thee or thy son, Alonza, they have bereft. Lingering perdition, worse than any death, shall attend you in your ways. Upon your heads is nothing but hard sorrow in this most desolate isle.
Lovely. You will see later. I'm going to put Laurie in the spotlight. I'm going to show you a sort of a trailer of the version of the Tempest that we did last year, and in it you'll see James Benfield dressed as Ariel, looking terrifying when he's doing that speech. Laurie, are you happy? Do you want to say anything about Caliban?
Yes, I will, because Caliban is one of the key parts in the play of Tempest, apart from because everyone knows that Prospero is the main part, but with Caliban, he is kind of a key part as well, as he is like the slave to, because just like Ariel, he is like a servant to Prospero, but in a different way, he is a slave.
Yeah.
So here's the speech.
He's almost treated a bit like a monster, isn't he? But we tried to find the human.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Off you go, Laurie.
Okay. Be not afeared, for Isle is full of noises, sounds and sweet airs that give delight and hurt not. Sometimes 1,000 twanging instruments will hum about mine ears, and sometimes voices that, if I then have waked after long sleep, will make me sleep again. And then, in dreaming, the clouds me forward open and show twitches ready to drop upon me. That when I waked, I cried to dream again.
Lovely. We've got a few more. I'm going to look at the barrier-free guys. And so does everybody know the story of Scrooge and Christmas Carol? Everyone knows that, don't they? Yeah. So we had one of the things that we did, this is January of last year, we had Katie, Tom.
I was Emily Scrooge.
Yeah, we had a female Scrooge. So the best way to do this, I think, if everybody mutes themselves, apart from James Benfield and Katie, I'm going to cancel the spotlight, and then I'm going to go to speaker view. So, James, would you speak?
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Okay. So this is a speech from Bob Cratchit and Katie was playing Scrooge. So we had a female Scrooge. So I hope that if you two are the only ones, I'm going to mute you, Roz, and mute myself. I'm hoping that you two are the only ones who get to be seen. Hope that works.
Okay. I'll wait till James Bamford goes first.
Miss Scrooge, might I?
Might you what, Cratchit?
It is terribly cold, ma'am.
Is it? I do not notice the cold.
It is a kind gesture that you have given me a candle, ma'am. I appreciate the candle. The candle is an asset to my day, ma'am, but
what?
But might I light the candle, ma'am?
Hold on, sorry. Such naturally.
Or maybe some coal for my burner?
Coal, is it?
I could work better if I could feel my fingers. I scarce know that they are there.
And at this point, she grabs his hand.
This one. I feel them well enough. They are definitely there. Trust me, Cratchit.
But Miss Scrooge!
Yeah. Do you not have enough layer to wrap around you?
Just one for emergencies!
Sorry, Richard. Yeah. Perhaps today it's an emergency. Wrap up. Crack on.
Very well, ma'am.
Oh dear.
Lovely. Sam, I'm going to ask Sam Dace to step forward, metaphorically. I'm putting him in the spotlight. So in our Christmas Carol, one of the kind of key characters is somebody who loves Christmas as much as Scrooge hates Christmas. And that's Scrooge's nephew, Sam. And he got a rousing round of applause when he did this speech in January of last year, reminding the whole audience at the Theatre Royal Winchester what Christmas is about. Off you go, Sam.
There are many things which have done me the world of good, even though they have not brought me any profit, and Christmas is the chief among them. Christmas time is a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. The only time I know of in the year when men and women seem to open their hearts freely. And to think of people below them as if they really were fellow passengers on this journey of life. So even though it never put a penny in my pocket, I say, God bless it!
Lovely. Okay. Thanks for watching patiently, Barrier Free. We're just going to do one more thing before I show you a bit of video. Does everybody want to unmute themselves in Blue Apple? So, yeah, mute yourself. So, if life had been normal, about 2 weeks ago, we would have presented a real play on a real stage in a real theatre, but life has changed around us. So one of the things that we thought, could we do anything useful through the medium of Zoom? It feels like such a strange thing. And then we came up with the idea of trying to work with the idea of Shakespeare, because everybody, and work with the idea of the fact that we all need a bit of advice on coronavirus and COVID. So we took a speech from Hamlet, which is by a character called Polonius. You may have seen this online. And so we updated it. We pretended that we'd found a handwritten copy of the speech in a dusty box in a cellar in Winchester. Is everybody ready to do it? Have you got it in front of you?
Yep.
Yeah. So the great thing about this speech is that Polonius is an old duffer who loves to give advice. And so the thing that we all need at the moment, I think, is advice. Where can you go? Do you need to wear a mask? How many people can you have around you? All of that's changing. It feels week by week. So I will mute myself, and then Laurie, if you're ready to kick us off with the Polonia speech updated for 2020.
Ladies, aboard with shame. Stay foul alert.
Hold these precepts in thy memory, so thou may farewell. Washest thou thy hand.
Uncivil hands are hands that be not clean.
And thou must sing twice over. Give thy thoughts no tongue. In the depths of thy mind, the song can be sung.
Be familiar, but no means vulgar. Grasp thy quill and work from home if thou canst.
Those friends thou hast, grapple them to thy song with hoops of steel, but few to thy breast, 1 meter plus.
Thou may findest thyself in a bubble,
But be not afeard.
For it is a bubble of support in another household.
And like in dignity or not, 'tis no matter.
Beware of entrance to an argument, where thy mask at all times a butcher of a baker. For thou must move a mask to sub ale, as the taverns are open once more.
the taverns and the tap houses to be, but to keep thyself at the gymnasium, not to be.
Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take no issue with thy family, though thou hast been locked down with them these many weeks.
Costly thy habit, as thy purse can buy, but adapt thee, keep thyself apart from every fellow.
And thou must be ghetto places on a globe. Thus be not in a travel corridor and ask for Leicester.
Cast the slings and arrows from your mind, but follow down the arrows on the floor at the merchant's store.
Neither a borrower nor a lender be.
And remember that we are all in the same boat, though some boats be grand and splendid, and others be rotten boats, not rigged, no tackle, sail, no mast. The very rats
sea surround us all.
The sea that would take our breath if we did but let it.
The big sea, Corona, COVID.
It's a bubble.
To thine own self be true.
And it must follow.
as the night the day.
Thou canst not then be false to any man.
Or women.
Farewell.
My blessing season this in thee.
Lovely. Thank you, guys. And thank you, Barrier Free, for listening so well. I'm just going to show you one film which shows you a little bit more what a full Blue Apple theatrical experience is like. It will take about 2 minutes. And then I'm simply going to say, Lauren and Britt, we are in your hands. Do with us what you will. So I'm hoping that we can share this. Because I want to make it look and sound as good as possible, I won't be able to see anybody for the next couple of minutes. So try not to speak too much, Blue Apple guys, if you're not muted. Okay, here we go.
No more amazement. I have done nothing but in the care of a thing. Now, lights.
Do I so? Take now.
And then, in dreaming, the clouds, me thoughts, would open and show witches ready to drop upon me. But when I waked, I cried to dream again.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Wow.
It was quite
Amazing.
That
So we had, for anybody who knows The Tempest, there's probably only about 8 or 10 characters in it, but we've got a big cast. So there was probably 35 or 40 people on stage.
40.
Yeah.
To mess around with Shakespeare and invent new things. We created people who've also been shipwrecked on the island and were wandering around trying to work out what to do with their lives, whether they tried to get home or stay. And if they stayed, were they going to make a new life? Or was it just
Remain or leave?
Remain or leave. Lovely. Okay. Perfect time, I think, for us to say thanks for listening to our jabber. Let's hear yours. Fantastic. So Lauren and Britt, you're in charge, and tell Lauren what you do.
That was amazing, guys. Thank you for sharing that with us. That was so incredible.
Yeah, and maybe we can take a moment to hear some reactions. I'll start off at your diction is amazing. The clarity that you all are saying your words, the characters that you're bringing to life, and your passion for your acting is so clear. So thank you for sharing those gifts with us. Any other barrier freers want to share some thoughts or reactions to what they just saw? Chris, go for it.
Slow motion punch.
That was very good.
Wow.
Yeah. the director brain in me was like, wow, how long did this take to block? And like, that was so cool. That was so cool.
That's way cool.
Any other
Music. I like the music.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Oh man. So we're a little envious because we had a whole production. We'd been rehearsing since September of last year, all the way up until March. And the weekend of March, the final tech rehearsal, our show was pulled because we had to go into quarantine. And everything, the sets were ready to go, the costumes were there, the people were in the theater, we were ready, and boom, we got it pulled.
Including our professional videography that was lined up. So we don't have a beautiful film such as yours, but it was very devastating for our cast.
Yeah.
I was getting my dinner. I was getting my dinner at Panera Bread, and then Britt called me. I was like gonna rush over to the theater and like inhale my mac and cheese backstage.
It was 5 o'clock on the Friday, and our shows were Saturday and Sunday, and they shut down our whole state because of coronavirus. So we are excited to be able to share part of our show here with you all today.
Yeah. So a little bit of how we warm up, especially since there are new faces here, and I haven't memorized the names, even though we can see your names here, which is very helpful, is a game that we call the name game, cleverly named. Who would like to explain a little bit from Barrier Free how we do the name game?
I'll explain. The name game, you have to start with the adjective attributes begin with C. First name is C or different alphabet.
Great, so Chris, you gave a good example there. So think of the letter of your first name. So my name is Britt, it starts with the letter B. And think of an adjective, a descriptor word that describes you that also starts with that letter. And Blue Apple folks, you can think a little bit about this, and we will demonstrate, the Barrier Freers demonstrate what we are talking about. So for example, my name is Britt, letter B, I need an adjective that describes me. Sometimes I'm brilliant, sometimes I'm not, but we'll just use brilliant for now. And then a movement with that. So brilliant Britt, can we do that? Brilliant
Brett.
Awesome. Lauren, why don't you try?
Sure. So I'll go with letter L, Lauren. I'm lovable Lauren. And I'll do lovable Lauren.
Lovable Lauren.
Lovable Lauren.
Lovable Lauren.
Chris, go ahead since you let us into it.
I'm Christopher Anderson, and I'm Comical Chris.
Comical Chris.
Comical Chris.
And Blue Apple folks, feel free to do it with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Nicole?
Nice Nicole.
Nice Nicole.
Nice Nicole.
Jenny?
Yeah. Try this, Jenny.
That was jealous.
Jealous
Jenny.
Jared?
Oh, I'm Jared Parrish, and my adjective, describing word is Jazzy Jared.
Jazzy Jared.
And I think it's Jen, right?
All right. My name is Jen. I really like going to concerts, so I'm always Jammin' Jen.
Jammin'
Jen.
So, Blue Apple, you want to give it a try?
Yeah.
Make sure you're unmuted, Sam and Tommy. I'm going to start. I'm Romantic Richard.
Romantic Richard.
I'm going to pause. Michael Eaton is on his way in.
Perfect.
Great, that's our other Barrier Freer.
So we'll just get Michael in the room and then we'll carry on. So Tommy, Roz, Anna, Lauren, Sam, think about what describing word is that begins with the letter of your name. Michael.
Hey guys.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Michael.
Michael's in the house.
Okay,
Sorry, hi everyone. I was at a family gathering. I apologize. Sorry.
That's okay, Mike. We're right in the middle of the name game.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So, who are we at?
We're going to have some Blue Apple folks share. And Mike, I'm going to put you on a mute just because there's a little bit of background noise while they're doing theirs.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Tommy, one from you.
Oh man. Yes, terrific. Tommy.
Terrific.
Terminated.
Roz.
Okay.
Any suggestions?
I think I have to go that way, unfortunately. Okay, so the letter R.
Yeah.
Let's go again. Romantic.
Okay, that's good. Romantic.
Romantic Rose.
Romantic
Nice
Rose.
different movement. Laurie.
Lovely Laurie.
Lovely Laurie.
Anna.
Laurie. Lovely Laurie.
Awesome.
Awesome, Anna. Give us the movement again.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome, Anna.
Awesome. Anna.
Katie.
I am a terrific, lovely Katie Foster.
Katie, that doesn't begin with a K. Terrific. Hey, we'll let you off.
Oh, sorry.
had
Hold on.
that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
It could be just the same consonant sound. So things that
Yeah.
start with C but also make the K noise. You can use.
Okay. The gorgeous.
No. D. Something beginning.
K or C?
K.
Cuddly.
K.
I am a cuddly Cathy.
Give us the movement. Where's the movement? Cuddly Katie.
Cuddly Katie.
James Benfield.
Okay. Name is James letter J. I'd say Jokey James.
Jokey James.
What does that
Give
look
us
like?
the
Like
movement.
that.
Jokey
James.
And finish with
James.
Sam.
Superstar Sam.
Superstar
Sam.
Superstar Sam.
Amazing.
And I think that's everyone.
All right.
It could
Mike,
be.
you want to give it a go?
Michael?
Mischievous Mike.
Mischievous
Mischievous
Mike.
Mike.
Nice. All right. So a little bit about barrier free, and then we'll go into, I guess,
Some people sharing.
sharing.
Free.
So barrier free started with a need in the community for people in the area that needed some creative outlet, some sort of innovative way to express themselves, to help build social skills, and just to hang out and have fun. And so I was introduced to this concept of barrier-free theater long ago when I was in graduate school, and then I moved back to the East Coast. So I was in the Midwest, and then I moved back to the East Coast and started implementing it there at different agencies in the state. And eventually we decided to branch off and start our own. I was like, we could do this. We could do this as, before we were under an umbrella of other agencies, we wanted to be our own entity, and that's what happened. And these lovely folks had followed us, so they went from their agencies and came with us, which was really a sign of commitment and dedication to the art and to just barrier free in general. So that's kind of barrier free in a nutshell. Anybody want to share about their experiences with barrier free thus far?
Yes,
Go for it, Nicole.
I will. I have learned about acting. I have learned about puppeteering and plateau and different characters from plays and socializing with people and having fun.
Nicole, that was beautiful.
Really
Thank you.
summed it up, Nicole.
We're gonna put that in a pamphlet.
Go for it.
Chris, did you want to share some thoughts as well?
Yeah. I learned studying reading script and memorize, acting, and then we
could cut out for a moment there.
What did you say after acting, Chris?
the name games.
Name games. Got it.
Excellent. Those are all great skills we do at Barrier Free.
Anybody else? One more.
I could share.
Go for it, Mike.
Well, Barrier Free has helped me get job, or helped me with my job, being able to socialize and make friends just a tiny bit more easier. I've been able to make new relationships and keep relationships thanks to Barrier Free Theater, and the acting again has been a big help with coping with my autism and families. So, yeah.
And Mike, you just touched on something really great that it's always been a strong skill of yours, is being a self-advocate. Even what you just said about how it's helped you with your autism, that's really a key part of what we do here. And Mike, you really set a great example for everyone in how to advocate for themselves. So thank you for always doing that.
Yeah. And those transferable skills that can be then implemented in other areas of life. It's not just, it might be fun and games. Theater's all fun and games, right? That's not all we do. We can transfer those skills to other areas of life that we're involved in, our personal relationships, romantic relationships, our jobs, everywhere that we go. We can use these things that we learn.
All right. Anyone else? You don't have to share, but don't want to pass you up if you'd like to.
Barrier Free.
That's a perfect segue, Jared. Barrier Free indeed. So we're going to do our little performance.
Let's do it.
As we mentioned, we're already in our costumes. We don't always have feathers in our hair in the United States.
Or a bow tie. So yeah, this is our inclusive theater company, a scene from one of our inclusive theater company shows. And so how that is done is at the beginning of a rehearsal process, all the way back in September, we started playing drama games like the name game. And then we progress into improvisation. And from there, we develop a theme that we are noticing through the improvs. And we take that theme and we run with it, and we start building stories around it. And so the scene that you're about to see is from a show called Cosmic Crime. And it circles around riches. And this was the theme that was coming up in improvisation is having too much of one thing really a good thing? Is having too much riches really a positive thing? And playing with the idea of wealth and playing with the idea of status, socioeconomic status in particular, and how that impacts the, not just the economy, but your personal relationships and your attitude towards life. And so this is just a small scene where it's towards the beginning of the show where you get the buildup of what's happening. We're not going to say anymore because you'll see this scene.
All of our shows are original written shows. So with those improv games, as Brett said, we develop plots. And then after we have our plots, we create our own. Anyone want to help me from Barrier Free? Scripts and
good job, Ted.
Our characters that we play, which is why our actors get so passionate about their costumes and their props, because it's their own character that they've kind of selected that they'd like to be within the plot. So for example, you might really want to be a detective, or you may really want to be a singer at a speakeasy. So these characters are also original. And then Britt takes all of the marvelous ideas of our actors and interns and staff and writes them into a script. So,
all right. All right, you guys ready from Barrier Free to begin?
I'm ready.
Yes.
Okay. Make sure you got your props ready if you're using any.
Come on, props.
And I think everybody on our side has their mic on, which is good. Great.
Would speaker view work for this?
I think not, because we overlap a lot. Yeah. All right, Jenny, you want to start us off?
Yes.
All right.
Baltimore, bows, and thank you.
I don't think so, Leah.
I don't. What did I do now?
You know what? I'll just show you. Move it, sister. Baltimore, Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Will you two stop it? I've lost count twice already. Besides, no one ever wants to hear songs about Baltimore. That will drive the business way down.
Well, it's a good thing we have our side hustle then.
Open up, ladies. It's Captain Morgan.
Oh, that must be the booze delivery. I'll get the door.
No, it's Captain Morgan from the police department. Your sign says open.
We're coming in.
Start hiding cash under the table.
Already on it. Everybody look natural.
Everything looks good to me. See ya.
No, maybe we should have a look around first.
All clear.
Got a warrant?
I'm the chief of police, lady. Houston Chester.
Okay, Chief Houston Chester. Got a warrant?
No, we do not.
Better get a warrant.
Rumor has it you are hiding cash under the table.
Not this table.
What he means is you all seem to be a part of a side hustle.
Meaning you can't possibly be making all your money from just selling alcohol.
You'd be surprised. This town can drink.
Even so, there are still some inconsistencies.
Yeah, things are not adding up.
Well, math is tricky, my dears. Best do your calculations elsewhere before the customers start rolling in.
Yeah, having you here for business isn't exactly good, if you know what I mean.
I'm watching you.
Are you implying that we book unauthorized, mostly illegal, completely off the books, under the table, under the radar adventures for the criminally wealthy?
That was specific.
It is like she wrote that right off the pamphlet.
Well, I'm not telling you anything.
Nothing.
Plus, we don't know anything either.
Okay, please don't kill me. I'll tell you anything.
We're not going to kill you. We just want to know what you do in addition to running this speakeasy.
How do you help?
We just work here, plain as that.
If they tell us to do something, we do it. Or whack.
We don't know jack.
Whack, 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 whack. And then crack.
Crack?
Are we done here?
Yeah, are we doing here?
Not quite.
Who pays for these services from the speakeasy?
How are they funded?
Oh, I can't tell you that.
Chief, I think there might be a bigger fish to fry here.
A fish?
What do you mean?
I know we're after the speakeasy, but maybe we can make some kind of arrangement.
And there we go.
That is our small snippet of our grander show.
Yes, Lauren and I had to step up because not all of our folks are here. So we're usually not in this show.
It does explain, it explains the bow tie.
And we are hoping to revamp those shows in the year 2021, as we are hopeful that our world will be a little safer from coronavirus there, but we'll be flexible as always.
Yeah, you guys were talking about the Tempest being stranded on an island. We have a similar show that was supposed to happen. I was thinking the theme song the whole time Richard was talking.
What was the theme song?
Island Mayhem, I think.
A little island mayhem, life will run again, but I'll make it through. A little island mayhem.
Wow.
Wow.
That's an original composition.
Yes, it is not for fair use.
I could do Company A's real quick. I know Company A's by heart.
I think we're good.
So our music is also original. We have a composer that writes it and creates it for us as part of our show. So they're musicals.
Wow. So you're singing too?
Indeed, yeah.
Wow.
Mike, you got a little bit of background noise going on.
So we're muting you.
And how many people would have been in the cast for the show that was supposed to be on in March?
So we have two companies. Company A, which is the show that you saw just now, has a cast of about 20 to 25, right, including staff. And Company B was our second act. So they're singular acts, but we put them in together. So the second act is a different company, and they are about 15 to 18.
Yeah, so each show is about 45 minutes long with that intermission in between. So the audience is paying the price for a full-length show, but it's really a 2-for-1 deal. And so that is where we're at with Barrier Free. Any thoughts, actors?
Yeah, Blue Apple, any thoughts from you on what you've just seen? It was, it felt like I'd gone back in time to the 20s. The days of prohibition.
Yes.
Tommy?
Why did we do that to ourselves?
Any thoughts from Roz, Anna, Laurie, Tommy, Katie, Sam, or James?
It sounds all perfect to me, because I was at least loving it to bits.
Well, you're not the only person.
Well, I thought it was.
Okay, Anna has a point.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's very well done, very well thought out, and very funny.
Very funny, very fast.
Well,
the time taken out.
I've got a point to make.
Say that again, Rose?
I was very comedic, like very
comedic. Good word, very comedic.
Yeah.
Yes. And Tommy?
I quite enjoyed the singing. Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore.
Baltimore. Baltimore.
Nobody wants to hear songs about Baltimore.
Nobody does want to hear songs about Baltimore.
Thank you for those compliments. Yes.
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Did you want to say something, Katie?
Yeah, I just want to say what you did, guys, was amazing, actually, to think about all the good times that you did. And I thought it was amazing, actually, but well done.
And Lauren and Britt, do you think that the show we've just seen a bit of, will that be back next year? Yeah, you said in 21.
Yes, that's the goal. Because the U.S. is in a little different place with coronavirus right now, and so we are, doing a hybrid option this fall, and with the hopes that we can revamp our shows in January and perform in March with we still have a holding date for our shows for the performances. So we're hoping that we can revamp, maybe do a couple rewrites here and there with people that couldn't make it back, or people that have been added. We would do that, but they need to perform, and I they work so hard on it. So, yeah.
James, did you have something to say?
Yes, I was just going to say I absolutely love the entire thing which we just seen, but do most of the guys in both companies do their acting and a lot of dance as well? And I particularly enjoyed the scene about the fish and coming to an arrangement, because that was pretty amusing, because you don't know if he was saying, we can come to arrangement providing stuff about I was like, what? Fish?
Fish. I like the joke about the fish. Ros?
Yeah, so with the essays that you put on in Very Brave, do you have like the Arts Council grants?
Okay. So in the UK, we have a thing called the Arts Council of England, which just tries to look after the arts kind of networks, the structure in the country of the arts organisations. What do you have there?
What do we have?
Well, Anna, so we
so many.
Our nonprofits operate mostly at a state level, not a federal level. So each state has an arts council. But I will say in the United States, when you are a small arts-based nonprofit, it is hard to get any initial state type of funding. It tends to go towards larger organizations. So our funding and support comes a lot from our on-the-ground supporters, our families, and those that just know our work at the moment.
So we have a Maryland State Art Council that's based out of the state capitol that does grants and such like that. And then we do have like nationwide grants, but we have to start small and do the state ones before branching out to the country as a whole.
It's similar to us, I guess.
Does Westminster or Carroll County have arts councils?
There's the Carroll County Arts Council, but they are more involved in like arts and crafts, museum type work.
And the peep show.
Yes, like that.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd be talking about state funding for the arts, Ros, but thank you. Let me ask a question. How many people in the state?
I'm sorry, it cut off. Could you say that again, Richard?
How many people in your state?
Oh,
I'll Google it.
Yeah.
In our state?
Yeah.
The population of our state?
Population of the state. Do you know?
United States of America.
Okay,
6.046 million.
6 million. Okay, right. So that's a lot of people in one state.
Yes. Our country is egregiously large.
Too large. But yes, and we live by major metropolitan areas too, around Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, which are big hubs of population. So a lot of people come from there.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, does anybody have anything else? I think something that's really important to say here, or James has got a point. Carry on.
Yeah, I must ask this, but what gave you and all your performers the inspiration to start writing and singing about Baltimore?
Let's let an actor answer this one if they'd like. Does anybody want to take that question?
What was it? Baltimore.
What made us inspired to write about Baltimore?
Yeah, I remember way back into, I think it was October, November.
Right.
Does anybody remember?
I like the reference a song of Frank Sinatra's New York, New York.
Right? So, it's a very good memory. We were parodying Frank Sinatra's New York, New York song, but we couldn't necessarily copyright it. And I was like, what's something a little more local? And then I think Jenny was singing Baltimore, Baltimore.
Yeah.
And someone said something like, no one wants to hear songs about Baltimore. So that's a direct quote from our actors. And it was so the room started cracking up laughing. And we're like, that's getting written in there for sure.
One of the things that Anna, I think, mentioned when we were talking about doing these kind of hands across the ocean sessions, this is a really nice introduction and a really nice chance to see a company that looks a bit like us doing something a bit the same but a bit different. So Anna said, yeah, but what happens after that? And I don't know if we've got an answer yet. I think we're in a strange place where we can say to each other, this might be the start of something. We may visit each other digitally every now and then, or we may be able to say, do you know what, in our next show, could we have a speech from Christopher, or could Jared be, seen on screen? I think we've just by accident almost stepped into a new age where something that felt really difficult before has suddenly, presented itself as really simple. So isn't that an interesting proposition? The fact that, we can, I'm sitting at home talking to people 3,000 miles away, and it's really simple to record and say, would you do a speech for us, and we'll throw it into our piece? Who knows? So I think it's a really good time for us all to have a think about what we could do in the future, whether we could put something together on Zoom that was a performance that was co-written by some Blue Apple, some Barrier Free, maybe a third company, who knows? And then we each take a line or whatever. Who knows?
I'm just imagining the McDaniel Theater auditorium filling with the sounds of British ghosts for our actors to react.
Yeah, so McDaniel is the college that we're partnered with, similarly to how you guys are under the University of Winchester.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And yes, Richard, and thank you for initiating this collaboration as well and reaching across the ocean to us. It has been very joyful to prepare.
It's been very joyful. I think Ros has got a question.
Not really a question as such, but for me, it's really good for so many companies that does the American that it's really good to collaborate with so many companies so they can actually see what they've been doing, or see what we've been doing. So I think it's really good because a good grasp of these companies being together and just sharing our ideas and what we can do. So I think it's very, very good. And also to spread the message, we can actually
spread the word. Okay, just before we go, and I suggest Michael doesn't do this. Are you driving, Michael?
Yeah, he's in a car.
Yeah, I'm in a car right now. What's up?
He's not.
Okay.
He's the passenger.
Yeah, I'm just the passenger. I'm not driving now.
Okay, so before we go, I'm going to ask the Blue Apple guys to do something that we've been trying to get right over the last few weeks, because we have appreciated the difference between performing to a theatre where you need to look at the people over there and the people over there and the people up there and the people down there to a camera. Okay, so if the Blue Apple guys will get one finger ready, you all know what we're going to do. Okay, if we get it right,
I got it right.
And you point to your camera lens, you should be able to completely cover up your face like a what's it called when the moon goes over the sun? An eclipse. Yeah, so
yes, that's right.
So that's what we're trying to work out, how to perform to this thing here, which is really strange. So let's give the Barrier Free guys a chance. Do you know where your camera is on your device?
Yes.
Point to your camera.
Right here.
It's really hard sometimes. Well done, Christopher. Yeah.
Good.
Jared, you're getting there. It's hard,
All
isn't
the
it?
way close, Nicole. All the way close, Jenny.
It's hard, isn't it?
Oh,
Can you see the little circle on the top of your laptop?
And of course, because we're all human, we want to interact with faces, not with a camera. So we're having to learn everything we've.
Like Richard said before, when I first screen actor.
Lovely. Okay, so thanks, guys. If anything else, Britt.
So we like to take screenshot pictures of everyone when we get together. So if everyone would smile at the camera, I'm going to count to 3 and I'm going to take a picture here. 1, 2, 3. Cheese! We will send that your way, Richard.
Lovely. Brilliant. And I'm now going to end this. We'll finish with a good old-fashioned wave from everybody. This has been lovely. I will get something to you, Lauren. This recording, I'll get it to you. It might not be next week because I'm on holiday.
Have a good time.
We're recording, so. Yeah.
Of course, I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.